Coleman.
There he is.
Coleman. Cook. Coram. Danielson. Donovan. Fields. Gardner. Janal. Gonzalez.
Excused.
Hanson. Henriksen. I saw him. Henriksen.
Absent.
Heisey. Holbert. Jaquez Lewis. Kirkmeyer. Kolker. Lee. Liston. Lundeen. Moreno. Pedersen.
Here.
Priola. Rankin. Rodriguez. Scott. Simpson. Smallwood. Sonnenberg.
Excused.
Story. Winter. Woodward. Zenzinger. Have we seen Do you want to leave him absent?
No. We're going to thirds.
Okay.
Please come to the floor ASAP, period.
Who are we missing?
Henrik said I just sent him an ASAP.
Henriksen. Mr. President.
Here. The morning roll call is 33 present, 0 absent, 2 excused. We have a quorum. Will the good senator from Arapahoe County please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Colleagues, please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the journal. Senator Winter. Senator Winter. Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate Journal of Tuesday, April 26, 2022 be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. Senate Services.
April 27, 2022, correctly printed Senate Bill 231 and 232, Senate Joint Resolution 13, correctly engrossed Senate Bill 005, 124145, 173, 190, 195, 201, 202, 208, 209, and 217, correctly re-engrossed Senate Bill 197 and 215, correctly revised House Bill 1155, 1272, 1296, 1306, 1312, and 1324, correctly re-revised House Bill 1031, 1103, 1154, 1157, 1210, 1232, 1241, 1261, 1263, 1268, 1298, 1299, and 1313, House Concurrent Resolution 1005, correctly enrolled, Senate Bill 58, 79, 156, 164, and 167.
Committee reports.
April 26, 2022, the Committee on State, Veterans, and Military Affairs, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 206 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1054 be postponed indefinitely. Senate Bill 222 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations, and Senate Bill 221 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
Members, we are going to proceed out of order for an announcement from Senator Newell. Just kidding. Please welcome Senator Newell back to the chamber. Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Will the clerk please read the titles to all of the bills on the consent calendar?
House Bill 1324, Representatives Burnett and Lynch, Senators Woodward and Rodriguez, concerning modification to the definition of a pawnbroker. House Bill 1306, Representatives Tatone and Baisley, Senators Bridges and Priolo, concerning broadband deployment grant processes implemented by the Broadband Deployment Board. House Bill 1312, Representatives Lynch and Woodrow, Senators Moreno and Woodward, concerning modification to sales tax statutes in order to address certain defects and anachronisms. Senate Bill 208, Senators Winter and Simpson, Representative Lynch and Roberts, concerning just compensation for the condemnation of property encumbered by a conservation easement and gross. House Bill 1296, Representatives Mullica and Van Winkle, Senator Priola, concerning the definition of a nursing home for purposes of the residential real property classification. Senate Bill 191, Senators Bridges and Priola, Representatives Tutone and Burnett, concerning the procurement of information technology resources. Senate Bill 195, Senators Donovan and Sonnenberg, Representatives Valdez D. and Catlin, concerning modification to the Conservation District Grant Fund. Senate Bill 201, Senators Lee and Gardner and Representative Weissman, concerning independent oversight of matters concerning judicial discipline and in connection therewith making an appropriation. Senate Bill 209, Senators Donovan and Sonnenberg, Representatives Roberts and Pelton, concerning expanding small meat processing in Colorado by providing business application assistance to obtain capital and in connection therewith making an appropriation. Senate Bill 217 by Senators Hansen and Zenzinger, Representatives Harrod and Ransom, concerning motor vehicle related programs that benefit persons with disabilities and in connection therewith making and reducing an appropriation.
Majority Leader Moreno.
All right, hold on. Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over House Bill 1306 until tomorrow, April 28th.
The motion is to lay over House Bill 1306 until tomorrow. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and House Bill 1306 will be laid over until tomorrow. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of the remaining bills on the third reading consent calendar, which includes House Bill 1304, House Bill 1312, Senate Bill 208, House Bill 1296, Senate Bill 191, Senate Bill 195, Senate Bill 201, Senate Bill 209, and Senate Bill 217.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of all of the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes? Minority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 191.
Minority Leader will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 191. Senator Lundin.
Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you. I request that I be recorded as a no vote on the following Senate bills: 191, 195, and 209. Thank you.
Senator Lundin will be recorded as a no vote on Senate bills 191, 195, and 209. Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bills 191 and 209.
Senator Smallwood will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 191 and Senate Bill 209. Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be recorded a no vote on 191.
Senator Cook will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 191. Senator Liston.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 191.
Senator Liston will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 191. Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 191.
Senator Kirkmeyer will be recorded as a no vote on 191. Senator Heisey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 191.
Senator Heisey will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 191. With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, House Bill 1324 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of Senator Kolker will be recorded as a co-sponsor on 1324. With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, House Bill 1312 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Hansen. With a vote of Senator Pedersen will be recorded as a co-sponsor on House Bill 1312. With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 208 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Woodward, Jaquez Lewis, Donovan. With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, House Bill 1296 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senator Zenzinger. With Senator Lee will be recorded as a co-sponsor on 1296. With a vote of 26 ayes, 7 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 191 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Kolker, Winter, Rankin, Woodward, with a vote of 32 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 195 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Simpson, Coram, Winter, with a vote of 33 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 201 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Zenzinger, Minority Leader Holbert, Buckner, Danielson, Winter, Donovan, Cook, Kolker, Majority Leader Moreno, Hansen. Good morning, everybody. Bridges, Janal, Rodriguez, Fields, Senator Hansen and Kolker, I've got you. Lundeen, Jaquez Lewis, Simpson, Liston, Scott, Kirkmeyer, Coram, Rankin, Priola, Woodward. Please add the president. With a vote of 31 ayes, 2 no, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 209 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Kolker, Hendrickson, Buckner, Gardner, Jaquez Lewis, Simpson, Bridges, Lee. Corum. Rankin. Fields. Story. Minority Leader Holbert. With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 217 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Henriksen, Bridges, Jaquez Lewis, Janal, Rodriguez, Buckner, Winter. Rodriguez, I got you. Pedersen, Story, Corum, Rankin, Smallwood, Priola, Lee, Cook. Please have the president. Third reading of bills, final passage. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1155?
House Bill 1155, Representatives Will and McCluskey, Senators Gonzalez and Moreno, concerning in-state tuition classification at institutions of higher education for students who complete high school in Colorado.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1155 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1155. Are there any no votes? Senators Liston, Cook, Holbert, Gardner, Lundin, Scott, Heisey, Woodward, Smallwood. With a vote of 24 ayes, 9 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, House Bill 1155 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Zenzinger, Winter, Janal, Buckner, Lee, Henriksen, Bridges, Hanson, Donovan, Coleman, Jaquez Lewis, Priola, Pedersen, Story. Please have the president. And Colker. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 5?
Senate Bill 5, Senators Bridges and Cook, Representatives Robertson Wu, concerning the increase of available funds for law enforcement agency peace officer supportive services and in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. We move Senate Bill 5, third reading and final passage, and ask for an aye vote.
Together.
Yes, I said.
Yes, that's
Is
right.
there any
I was
discussion?
going to call you out, but
Thank you.
Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 5. Are there any no votes?
do we have to?
Senators Lundin,
Come on, Paul. Boo.
It's all right. It's all right. Everybody should vote their conscience. And if they don't have one, you should still vote. With a vote of 32 ayes, 1 nose, 0 absent, 1 nose, just 1 nose, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 5 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Zenzinger, Janal, Colker, Hanson, Lee, Winter, Danielson, Liston, Simpson, Corum, Kirkmeyer, Rankin, Scott, Minority Leader Holbert, Buckner, Priola, Gardner, Smallwood. Oh, maybe I didn't. Woodward. Henriksen, Majority Leader Moreno, Donovan, Pedersen, Story, Fields, please have the president.
Go ahead.
Are we allowed to say "we"?
Yes, yes, we are. We are.
Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 145?
Senate Bill 145, Senators Buckner and Cook, Representatives Valdez A. and Will, concerning measures to provide resources to increase community safety in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Buckner.
Mr. President, we move Senate Bill 22-145, third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 145. Are there any no votes?
I need to get some honey.
With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 145 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Janal, Zenzinger, Winter, Danielson, Kolker, Bridges, Hanson, Fields, Henriksen, Liston, Simpson, Gardner, Lundin, Coleman, Minority Leader Holbert, Scott, Kirkmeyer, Woodward, Jaquez Lewis, Heisey, Corum, Rankin, Priola, Smallwood, Pedersen, Story. Please add the president. Will the clerk please read Majority Leader Moreno?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over House Bill 1272 to the end of the calendar.
The motion is to lay over House Bill 1272 to the bottom of the third reading of bill's calendar. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that bill will be laid over to the bottom of the calendar. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 124?
Senate Bill 124, Senators Woodward and Kolker, Representatives Ortiz and Van Winkle, concerning the authority of a pass-through business entity to elect to pay state income taxes at the entity level and in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Woodward.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 22-124 on third reading and final passage and ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is for the passage of Senate Bill 124. Are there any no votes?
I don't know.
With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, to excuse, Senate Bill 124 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Henriksen, Zenzinger, Janal, Minority Leader Holbert, Rankin, Pedersen, will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 202? Will the clerk please add Senator Gonzalez to the roll call?
Yeah, we gotta read it and the whole deal. I know. Will you read?
Senate Bill 202, Senators Zenzinger and Rankin, Representative McCluskey, concerning providing state matching money for property tax revenue collected by school districts and in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Rankin.
Thank you, Mr. President. We move Senate Bill 202 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 202. Are there any no votes? Senators Lundin, Liston, Kirkmeyer, Smallwood, Woodward, Minority Leader Holbert,
All right, well,
Scott.
we got it done. Thank you. You're welcome. Good job.
With a vote of 27 ayes, 7 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 202 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Bridges, Majority Leader Moreno, Hanson, Janal, Buckner, Simpson, Priola,
I have two bills up.
Pedersen.
Are they going to pass? Probably. Not with your help. I don't ever help. I just hurt less. I know. I'm making you.
Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 173?
Senate Bill 173 by Senators Rodriguez and Smallwood, Representatives Byrd and McKean, concerning criteria related to the operation of telepharmacy outlets and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. We move Senate Bill 173 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 173. Are there any no votes? Senators Jaquez Lewis.
It's okay, they all have bills.
No. With a vote of 32 ayes, 2 no. Senator Janal will be recorded as a yes vote on Senate Bill 173. With a vote of 33 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 173 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senator Janal, Senators Buckner, Winter, Gonzalez, Pedersen,
Gonna help you. No, it isn't.
Simpson,
It's cash fund.
Woodward, Quorum,
That,
Rankin,
no, it's not right.
Priola. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate or House Bill 1272?
Go ahead, move.
House Bill 1272, Representatives Gonzalez Gutierrez and Benavides, and Senators Gonzalez and Rodriguez, concerning the repeal of the provision awarding a defendant attorney's fees in a tort action when the case is dismissed on motion of the defendant prior to trial.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. We move House Bill 1272 on third reading and final passage and ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1272. Are there any no votes? Senators Cook, Zenzinger, Janal, Lundin, Minority Leader Holbert, Scott, Liston, Gardner, Simpson, Kirkmeyer, Quorum, Woodward, Priola, Heisey, Smallwood. With a vote of 19 ayes, 15 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1272 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Jaquez Lewis, Danielson.
Thank you, colleagues.
Please have the President. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Having voted on the prevailing side, I move for the reconsideration of House Bill 1155.
The motion is for the reconsideration of House Bill 1155. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The motion is adopted and reconsideration is granted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1155?
House Bill 1155, Representatives Will and McCluskey, Senators Gonzalez and Moreno, concerning in-state tuition classification at institutions of higher education for students who complete high school in Colorado.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. We move for the passage of House Bill 1155 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I did just want to lift up the fact that we lost a titan last year in and a champion for the educational access for immigrant students. Representative Val Vigil was an amazing leader and an amazing advocate for immigrant students. In 2003, he introduced the first version of what would take a decade to pass, and finally passed in 2013, which was the Colorado Asset Bill. He sponsored 3 of the 7 attempts that it took over the course of a decade in order to allow immigrant students to be able to access higher education at our public colleges and universities here in our state. But in so doing, Representative Vigil inspired an entire generation of young people to dream. And we lost him last year in February of 2021. But one of the last things that he posted on his Facebook prior to his death that I hope will, as we now pass House Bill 1155 and rename this section of statute in his honor, I hope that his words inspire you as you carry forward on this day. He wrote, "Be honest, have morals, show empathy, value integrity, be a good human." Thank you, colleagues, for all of your work. Thank you to the good senator from Commerce City for all of his work. And we ask for an aye vote on House Bill 1155.
The motion is for the passage of House Bill 1155. Are there any no votes? Senators Lundin, Gardner, Cook, Minority Leader Holbert, Liston, Heisey, Scott, Woodward, Smallwood. With a vote of 25 ayes, 9 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1155 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Jaquez Lewis, Rodriguez, Bridges, Donovan, Coleman, Priola, Kolker, Danielson, Janal, Buckner, Zenzinger, Lee, Story, Pedersen, Winter. Please have the president. Fields. General orders, second reading of bills. Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of general orders, second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the general orders, second reading of bills, and Senator Bridges will take the chair.
The committee will come to order, and the coat rule is relaxed for everyone. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1003?
House Bill 1003, Representatives Doherty and Gonzalez Gutierrez, Senators Coleman and Henriksen, concerning creating a grant program to fund projects that reduce crime among youth and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We move House Bill 1003. No committee reports.
To the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This bill creates the Delinquency Prevention and Young Offender Intervention Pilot Program in the Division of Criminal Justice and Department of Public Safety. It'll provide funding for 2 years to create a pilot grant program for organizations whose projects are aimed at reducing youth violence. Members, despite all the work that's been done by us here in Colorado, Colorado invests $131,000 per child per year on incarceration, and its number of youth committed for felony charges sits at a 10-year high. We think this bill is going to make a big difference in impacting our youth in a positive way, and we ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1003. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. That bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1212?
House Bill 1212, Representatives Ortiz and Williams, Senator Danielson, concerning the continuation of the regulation of conveyances and in connection therewith implementing the recommendations contained in the 2021 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies.
Senator Danielson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1212.
To the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Obviously, these are really important folks that keep us safe. And even though, in the words of the late, great Mitch Hedberg, an escalator can never be broken, it just becomes stairs. I still urge an aye vote on House Bill 1212.
Thank you, Senator Danielson. Is there any further discussion? Senator Rankin.
I have an issue with the bill. I don't have an amendment, but you know, we are diverting money which would go on fines and penalties. Money went to the cash fund, it now goes to the general fund. I think that's a bad precedent. I'm concerned, and maybe the sponsors have a comment on that. You know, unless there's a good rationale for it, I really think that we should take a moment and amend that that transfer into the general fund from a penalty from fines to go instead to the cash fund, which is more traditional.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1212. All those in favor, Senator Rankin.
I apologize, that's already been done.
Asked and answered. Problem solved. We like to solve problems even before they come up here. Seeing no further discussion of House Bill 1212, the question before us is the adoption of that bill. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1234?
House Bill 1235, Representatives Bacon and Michelson Janae. House Bill 1234, Representatives Bacon and Michelson Janae, Senator Rodriguez, concerning establishing a prevented identity-based violent grant program and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1234 and the appropriations report.
I do not believe there is an appropriations report. However, I'm grateful that you would move it. It is non-existent. Therefore, we are to the bill. Senator Rodriguez.
Never mind.
House Bill 1234. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This bill deals with the most heinous crimes that we can possibly imagine in our community. They are, we're talking about crimes against our community itself. The one that immediately comes to my mind is crimes like the planned attack on the Temple Emmanuel Synagogue in Pueblo. And I move the bill and ask for an aye vote.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just want to let everybody know who's eligible for these grants. It's school districts, charter schools, universities and colleges, counties, cities, local municipalities, law enforcement agencies, district attorneys' offices, the American Indian tribes, and nonprofits. So please vote yes.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1234. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. That bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1243?
House Bill 1243, Representatives Exum and Van Winkle, Senators Kolker and Henriksen, concerning programs that provide funding to improve school safety and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Kolker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excuse me. I move House Bill 1243.
To the bill.
This bill, excuse me, helps improve public safety in a couple ways. The school security disbursement program that was created in 2018 is a program that is used to excuse me, improve the security of facilities, vehicles, training for threat assessment, on-site school resource officers and staff training, It was repealed in July of 2021. That bill that program was reestablished, and this bill helps pay for it in one area of the bill, the $6 million for this. The other part of this bill is expanding not the expanding, but continuation of the iMatter program, which provides the 3 free mental health sessions to youth screened into the program. And finally, it is also increasing $2 million to the professional grant program for mental health in schools that is currently in place. So $2 million for that. So with that, I encourage an aye vote.
Senator Zenzinger.
No.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And members, I would also encourage an aye vote on this bill. I was one of the original sponsors with, way back when, Senator Neville from Littleton on this bill that established this program. And so I'm very excited that we are continuing it. I think it has had a tremendous positive impact to our school districts with regard to school safety. And so I ask for an aye vote.
Senator Rankin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move amendment.
Here we go. There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read L009?
Amendment L009 by Senator
Senator
Rankin.
Rankin. Senator Rankin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this merely changes the appropriation from continuous to annual. It's an issue that we've discussed a lot in Appropriations Committee, and I believe has bipartisan support in general. However, there are exceptions that, to the rule. I don't find an exception in this bill. I totally support the bill. I think it's a great bill. I just want the Joint Budget Committee and the legislature to be able to reaffirm its support every year for the bill.
Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to the good senator from Carbondale. This says what is my understanding already from the bill, so it is merely clarifying language, and I see it as a friendly amendment and ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of L009 from the eagle-eyed senator attempting to reduce continuous appropriations. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. That amendment is adopted. Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1243. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. That bill is adopted. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
Motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendation thereon: House Bill 1003, House Bill 1212, House Bill 1234, House Bill 1243 is amended and passed on second reading and ordered, revised, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
Motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 1 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. House Bill 1003, 1212, 1234, 1243 is amended, passed on second reading and order revised, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate take up Senate Bill 218, Senate Bill 155, Senate Bill 198, and Senate Bill 204 on special orders at the hour of 10:05 a.m. Colleagues, you will not receive a calendar. Instead, these are listed on page 3 of your printed calendar. And just a heads up, Senate Bill 218 was originally scheduled for consent calendar. We're just going to go ahead and add that to the regular specials calendar so we don't have to come in and out of the Committee of the Whole.
The motion is that the Senate take up Senate Bill 218, Senate Bill 155, Senate Bill 198, Senate Bill 204 on special orders at the hour of 10:05 a.m. This does require a 2/3 majority. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The Senate will take up those bills previously mentioned on special orders at the hour of 10:05 a.m. Special orders, second reading of bills. Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of special orders, second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the special order, second reading of bills, and Senator Bridges will take the chair.
Thank you.
No. Thank you.
No, thank you. Oh, it will be first. Okay, great. The committee will come to order, and the coat rule is relaxed for all. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 218?
Senate Bill 218, Senators Holbert and Fenberg, Representatives McKean and Garnett, concerning the sponsorship of sunset bills.
Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll defer to the President.
Senator Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 218.
Seeing no further discussion, Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Since the bill is on seconds rather than consent, just for simplicity, having to do this once, I want to thank the President for his willingness to have a conversation. Twice in my 8 years in the Senate, members of the Senate had their names added to sunset bills coming out of the House without their knowledge. And the first time that happened, then Senator Tim Neville and I, as I recall, had a rather noisy conversation with then President Bill Cadman. And I've joked that if you have access to the President's office late at night and you're quiet, you can still hear our voices echoing in that room. It happened again this year, and I want to credit President Fenberg for his sense of humor when he heard what had happened. His question was, "Didn't we talk to you?" And no, that's what it was. There wasn't communication. And I wasn't upset because he recognized the need to fix this very old statute. I think the existing statute went into the books in 1996. And twice in my 8 years in the Senate, members have been very frustrated because that sacred thing, our name, that doesn't get added to bills without our permission, happened for a second time. I also want to thank the Majority Chief of Staff for her coming and apologizing, easily forgiven. This happened not because of some nefarious motivation, not because of a lack of due diligence, but just in the rush to abide by current law. There is a law that says the President, and in the first year of an assembly, the Speaker has to provide the names of bill sponsors for the sunset bills. All Senate Bill 218 does is clarify that with consultation with the minority leader and confirmation from each designated bill sponsor, that the President and the Speaker would do exactly the same thing. This is the kind of fix that I think is necessary because of term limits. This may not ever occur in your 8 years in a chamber, but it happened to occur twice. So I asked, why did this happen? And 218 is a fix, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the even hand and sense of humor that the president had right out of the chute in granting a late bill and fixing this, so hopefully that won't be a problem in the future. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Fenberg, was it funny?
Thank you.
Was it funny?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree with everything that was just said by the minority leader, except for one thing. He said it was not nefarious.
Oh!
It might not have been nefarious, but it is sometimes fun to put someone on a sunset that you think they have no interest in being on. So it's fun to be like, oh, the Potato Seed Act is up again. Let's put someone funny on that one. They probably don't know what it is. Just joking. There are some usually routine, somewhat mundane sunsets that come up, and we assign them, and sometimes forget to ask someone if they actually want to be on that sunset. This will get rid of that problem, and thanks to the minority leader for having the conversation and figuring out a solution.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 218. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it, and that bill is adopted. I assume that both Senators Holbert and Fenberg wanted to be on this bill. All right, will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 155?
Senate Bill 155, Senator Quorum, concerning an expansion of medical marijuana research grant programs.
Senator Quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Senate Bill 155 and the Committee on Health and Human Services.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What happened in committee is we actually made this perhaps the largest or smallest bill this year, because on page 1, line 1, strike everything below. On page 1, strike 2, 3, 4, strike the first few lines on 5. Basically, the bill says that we will change the date, and so the program is extended for 1 year. It's very vital because there's a lot of study going on this for autism and seizures from all the good people working on this. So ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of the committee report. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The committee report is adopted. Seeing no further discussion of Senate Bill 155, the question before us is the adoption of that bill. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. That bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 198?
Senate Bill 198, Senators Fenberg and Scott, Representatives Wiseman and Will, concerning measures to address orphan wells in Colorado and in connection therewith creating the Orphan Wells Mitigation Enterprise.
Senator Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 198.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 198. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. That bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 204?
Senate Bill 204, Senator Gonzalez, concerning repealing the requirement that the federal government confirm certain persons' statuses before issuance of an identification document.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 204 and ask for an aye vote.
And the Appropriations Committee report?
And the Appropriations Committee report, please, where we appropriately appropriated the appropriate appropriation.
An appropriate description of the appropriate report. Seeing no further discussion of the Appropriations Committee report, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. That Appropriations Committee report is adopted. Is there any further discussion of Senate Bill 204? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 204. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that bill is adopted. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
Motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and this committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 218, Senate Bill 155 is amended, Senate Bill 198, Senate Bill 204 is amended, pass on second reading, and ordered, engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
Motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, and 1 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 218, Senate Bill 155 is amended, Senate Bill 198, Senate Bill 204 is amended, passed on second reading, ordered, engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
House amendments, I'll lay it over, and then resolution.
Consideration of House amendments. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over Senate Bill 110 until tomorrow, April 28th.
The motion is to lay over Senate Bill 110 until tomorrow. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that bill will be laid over until tomorrow. Introduction and consideration of resolutions. Will the clerk please read the title of House Joint Resolution 1024?
House Joint Resolution 1024 by Representatives Esgar and Duran, Senators Gonzalez and Winters concerning Sexual Assault Awareness Month and in connection therewith recognizing April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and designating April 27, 2022 as Colorado Denim Day.
Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of House Joint Resolution 1024. And I request that it be read at length.
Will the clerk please read House Joint Resolution 1024 at length?
House Joint Resolution 1024, Representatives Esgar and Duran, Senators Gonzalez and Winter, concerning Sexual Assault Awareness Month and in connection therewith recognizing April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and designating April 27, 2022 as Colorado Denim Day. Whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month, SAM, officially began 21 years ago through the movement to bring awareness to and put an end to sexual violence can be traced back much further, and whereas the first Rape Crisis Center was founded in San Francisco in 1971, the same city where the first U.S. Take Back the Night event was held 7 years later. And whereas the following decades mobilized survivors and advocates to call for legislation and funding that would support survivors, such as the Federal Violence Against Women Act of 1993, VAWA, and whereas monumental changes like VAWA demonstrated that national efforts promoting sexual violence prevention were needed, even before SAM was first nationally observed in 2001, advocates had been holding events, marches, and observances related to sexual violence during the month of April, sometimes during a week-long Sexual Assault Awareness Week. And whereas since 2013, the Colorado Coalition Against Sexual Assault, CCASA, which serves as the collective voice of sexual assault victims and service providers in public policy initiatives, education, training, and collaborative efforts, has hosted Colorado Denim Day. And whereas the Denim Day campaign was originally triggered by a 1998 ruling by the Italian Supreme Court where a rape conviction was overturned because the justices felt that since the victim was wearing tight jeans, she must have helped her rapist remove her jeans, thereby implying consent. And whereas the following day, women in the Italian parliament came to work wearing jeans in solidarity with the victim, and whereas Peace Over Violence developed the Denim Day campaign in Los Angeles in 1999, and since then wearing jeans on Denim Day has become a symbol of protest against attitudes condoning sexual assault, and whereas currently every 68 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted, and 1 out of every 6 American women has been the victim of rape or attempted rape in her lifetime, and whereas 35% of black women will experience some form of sexual violence during their life, and African American girls and women 12 years and older experience higher rates of rape and sexual assault than white, Asian, and Latina girls and women, and whereas Native women are twice as likely to experience sexual violence in their lifetimes as any other population of women, 1 in 5 black women are survivors of rape, and members of the LGBTQ+ community are significantly more likely to experience sexual violence than their heterosexual cisgender peers. And whereas statistics from the U.S. Department of Justice show that for every black woman who reports a rape, At least 15 other black women do not report, and Latino women are least likely to report sexual violence, and whereas historical trauma, racism, hypersexualization, and fetishization often prevent sexual violence against women of color from being reported and believed, and women of color often face both racism and sexism when attempting to report, and whereas approximately 90% of people with developmental disabilities will be sexually assaulted, and around 80% of survivors of elder sexual abuse are abused by their caretakers, and whereas these statistics demonstrate that a person's identity can place them at a greater risk of sexual violence and make them less likely to report such violence and be believed, illustrating that denim isn't always denim. And whereas recognizing Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Denim Day and bringing awareness to and putting an end to sexual violence remain critically important. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 73rd General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the Senate concurring herein, that we, the members of the Colorado General Assembly, recognize April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and designate April 27th, 2022 as Colorado Denim Day, a statewide event aligning with Denim Day events across the world, and we are proud to recognize CICASA, Peace Over Violence, and other organizations that work to bring together Colorado communities to support survivors and end sexual violence. Be it further resolved that a copy of this joint resolution be sent to Bree Franklin, Executive Director of CICASA.
Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, colleagues. Please be seated. This day is very important in bringing awareness to sexual assault and survival. There's been some progress made. There's been a lot of progress made, especially in the wake of the Me Too movement. However, rape myths and victim-blaming practices remain ubiquitous throughout society. Denim Day was created to raise awareness to those myths and call out the damaging and false belief that a woman's clothing choice, behavior choice, where she is, who she's hanging out with, can imply consent. And you all actually joined us earlier this year in passing a bill to clarify what consent is, which I'm appreciative of. And for survivors, barriers to reporting sexual violence and being believed come not from the clothing they put on, but the identities they hold every single day. And so as we move forward to understand what it is to believe, to support survivors that are coming forward in a culturally relevant and trauma-informed way, is essential to make sure that we are ending sexual violence in Colorado, which unfortunately, Colorado has a higher rate of sexual violence than many other states across the country, and we all have to be part of the solution to solve this.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I want to rise and speak in support of this resolution because we know that how you show up in the world can often impact your ability to be believed in these moments of crisis, in these difficult moments. We see in the data that women of color have lower reporting rates and experience a lower likelihood of their reports being believed. So for Latina women particularly, we're the least likely to report sexual violence or to seek trauma treatment services. And so why does that happen, right? And some of it is because of the stereotypes that exist in popular culture around a spicy whatever, or hypersexualizing women and Latinas and women of color. Those types of exoticism or racist tropes oftentimes place women of color at greater risk for victimization. And part of the other issue that we see is that if you do go forward and share your story and reach out for help, too often there is not culturally relevant or Spanish-speaking services to support you to navigate that moment of crisis and that trauma, and to shift to a place of healing. And so Y'all, we've got a lot of work to do, and I want to lift up and support the Colorado Coalition Against Sexual Assault for the work that they have done and for the work that remains ongoing. And so if you are lucky enough to be wearing jeans today, hey, denim today, hey, if you're not, you can still wear the ribbon or a sticker. We invite you to donate your little granito de arena, your little grain of sand, to help support the mission and work of the Colorado Coalition Against Sexual Assault. Thank you all, colleagues, for your work, for your support, and for your donations. Can we please beat the House and raise some dollars? Thanks, everybody. Is anybody going to speak?
Senator Fields.
Good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. Thank you. I stand in strong support of this resolution and what it does. And it's difficult. It's really difficult to talk about rape and sexual assault. But the reality is it happens every single day. And that's why we need to talk about it, because we need to make sure that we're doing all we can to protect all of those who have been victims of sexual assault or rape. Now, there may be some stereotypes out there that you might think that it only happens to women. That's just not true. Frankly, it happens to babies. It happens to boys. It happens to girls. It happens to women. It happens to men. And that's why this body spends a lot of focus and time dealing with legislation to protect women and men and everyone else that's been assaulted by this horrible crime that I call sexual assault and rape. There's this myth that says, well, why didn't they tell earlier? That's because we have people to say, it's a secret. It's a secret. Don't tell. And if anyone tells you a secret, you know you're not supposed to tell the secret. And sometimes it takes whoever has been assaulted time to be confronted with, this is not a secret, this is wrong. This is sexual assault, and this is rape, and I'm going to tell it, because I'm not going to harbor this secret anymore. So every woman, child, or person that's out there that someone has told you to keep that secret as it results to being sexually assaulted or raped, the time is now to tell that secret, because there's all kinds of resources that will believe you and that will help you navigate the system to be able to report the crime that has happened to you. So thank you, my colleagues, for bringing this resolution. It's very timely, and it is very real.
Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I would like to ask the 3 members from CCASA who work hard every single day for the Colorado Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Violence to stand and be recognized. And if we can give them our thanks.
Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the morning roll call be added as co-sponsors.
Senator Winter, we actually haven't voted yet.
Oh,
I know.
sorry.
No, it's fine. The motion is the adoption of House Joint Resolution 1024. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Joint Resolution 1024 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Winter.
Now I'll make the timely request. I move that the morning roll calls be incorporated as co-sponsors.
Seeing no objection, the current roll call
Correct.
will be added as co-sponsors for House Joint Resolution 1024. Consideration of governor's appointments, consent calendar. Will the clerk please read all of the appointments listed on the consent calendar?
Member of the University of Colorado Hospital Authority Board of Directors, Philip Lane from the 5th Congressional District for a term effective June 1st, 2021 and continuing until May 31st, 2025 or until a successor is appointed by the Board of Regents reappointed. Member of the Colorado Medical Services Board for a term expiring July 1st, 2025. Barry Andrew Martin of Denver, Colorado to serve as a Democrat from the 1st Congressional District and as a person with knowledge of medical assistance programs appointed.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the confirmation of all the appointments on the consent calendar, which includes members of the University of Colorado Hospital Authority Board of Directors and members of the Colorado Medical Services Board.
Is there any discussion? The motion is the confirmation of all of the appointments on the consent calendar. Are there any no votes? With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, all of the appointments are confirmed. Will the chamber please welcome the one and only Senator Lundberg back to the chamber? Announcements. Senator Lund.
Go ahead. Where's Bridget? Oh, there we go.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues in the Senate.
Sorry, I just hadn't actually called on you, Senator Gonzalez. Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President, my president. Colleagues in the Senate Finance Committee, we will be meeting today at 1:30 in the old Supreme Court. Y'all, we got a whole lot of bills, so come prepared because we're going to be doing lots of work today. Thanks.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, Senate Business, Labor, and Technology Committee will meet at 1:30. We are adding a bill to the calendar. It will be heard in this order: Senate Bill 223, House Bill 1317, Senate Bill 229, House Bill 1347, Senate Bill 228, and Senate Bill 230. Should be quick.
Senator Quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would ask for a moment of personal privilege. Members, yesterday we were saddened. We lost one of our good friends from outside the glass. Kelly Brooks lost her battle with brain cancer yesterday, so our hearts go out to Becky and the family. And just wanted to let you know that Kelly was quite a character. She was able to live 100 years and 50, and she will be missed, but heaven might be a lot more fun.
Senator Fields.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. I do have an announcement. It's hard to share this announcement after acknowledging that we lost someone so very special to all of us. Members of the Senate Health and Human Services Committee, we will meet today in Senate Room 357. We have a number of bills. I believe there's 8 bills that we're scheduled to hear. And then we're also going to have our last committee hearing, which will be on Thursday, and we're going to be in the old support chambers room, and we have a series of 9 bills. See you this afternoon at 1:30.
Senator Lundin.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you. Colleagues, if you pull out Mason's, the rules upon which our rules are based, you will discover that a moment of personal privilege is designed for something that edifies the body. We occasionally come down here and talk about things that edify ourselves. Today, in this moment of personal privilege, we are going to talk about something that edifies the body. You are all aware that soon we will be losing, not from this earth, but from this chamber and from this building, a dear friend, someone who has made an enormous difference in all of our lives and in the work that we have done. We have a tribute that we would like to offer today, but before we offer the tribute, I'd like to acknowledge that in the back corner of the room, Julie Pellegrin and her partner and husband, Paul, are with us here today. Mr. President, I would like to read the tribute. On the auspicious occasion of her retirement from the Office of Legislative Legal Services, the Colorado Senate and House of Representatives honors Julie Pellegrin and expresses its deep appreciation for 3 decades of contributions and dedicated service to the Colorado General Assembly. Julie began her distinguished legislative career in 1991 as a staff attorney. Her extraordinary writing skills and remarkable ability to transform legislators' ideas into law were immediately apparent. Those talents, coupled with her natural people skills and instinctive leadership style, made her a natural choice for a management position as a team leader and eventually deputy director of the OLLS. Despite her successes as an effective manager, creative problem solver, and seasoned expert on legislative rules and procedure, Julie's love remains drafting, and I would make a personal note, and Paul. She drafts in a myriad of areas, but has developed unparalleled expertise, and when I said and Paul, I meant her husband, although I'm sure she does have a fraternal love for me as well. She has developed unparalleled expertise in education law and is lauded as one of the state's experts in the field. Julie is the best example of what her colleagues call a super drafter. Over the years, Julie has mentored legions of OLLS employees, imparting her understanding of and respect for the legislative process and the complexities of drafting, and her love for the institution she takes pride in serving. She has taught countless continuing legal education classes, staff training sessions, national seminars, and college courses. Her love of teaching was tapped for new legislator training, which she leads on behalf of the OLLS for many years. An idea person, Julie's creative spirit and focus on member service led her to establish the Legal Services Buddy Program that pairs experienced OLLS attorneys with new legislators to help them navigate the complexities of the legislative environment. Julie developed and continues to oversee the publication of Legisource, a weekly legislative blog that provides timely and cogent information about the legislative process to members of the General Assembly, its staff, and the public. Julie also serves on the state's title board, where her insight, experience, and legal acuity have gained her the respect of her fellow board members. Julie has also been an active participant over the years in the National Conference of State Legislatures staff section, serving as staff chair on the Education Committee, co-chair of Research and Editorial, Legal and Committee Staff Association, and the vice chair of both the Legislative Effectiveness Committee and the Legal Services Staff Section. She was awarded the NCSL Legislative Staff Achievement Award in 2018 and the Legislative Education Staff Network Achievement Award in 2004. Over her stellar legislative career, Julie has abided by core values of nonpartisanship and personal integrity, while also maintaining her signature sense of humor and unflappable grace in the face of the challenges that overlay the experience of a nonpartisan staff career in the very partisan at times legislature. The members of the Colorado House and Senate honor and thank you, Julie, for your faithful service and immeasurable contributions to the Colorado General Assembly and to the people of the state of Colorado. We extend our best wishes on the occasion of your retirement. You will be greatly missed.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
The line in here in this tribute that sticks with me the most is the way that you take our ideas and turn them into legislation. Oftentimes we have pretty vague ideas. We know mostly what we want to accomplish, but education law is rich, probably the nice way of putting it. And you are so familiar with all the various different parts and pieces that I know when I come to you with an idea, when I have a concern about a different bill, when there's something that I need to get done and I don't know how to do it, I know for sure you're going to know exactly how to do it and do it in a way where I don't break the law. It it is a unique skill, a unique gift. We have an incredible OLLS staff, but in my experience working with you, Julie, it is poetry on the page. And if you look at the very, very long 500-page bill that we just passed, to pull that together the way that you did, to have it read as clearly as it does, and it's not to say we didn't disagree here about various different parts of it, but we were very clear about what we were disagreeing on because of the work that you put into that. It makes our jobs and our lives so much easier because of your great, deep experience here. I love working with you. I love having you in the room. I love bouncing ideas off of you, and my hope is that we will continue to be able to do that piece, though in a different capacity. It is a loss to the state of Colorado that you are moving out of here, but Godspeed in your happiness beyond these walls.
Senator Lundin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I will be exceptionally and unusually brief. Julie Pellegrin, as you move on with your profession and your life, we wish you all the blessings that God can give you and Paul. There will be a gaping hole in this building and the work we do. There will be a gaping hole in at least one legislator's capacity as a legislator and in his heart. Thank you, Julie. Bless you, Paul. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Julie.
Senator Priola.
Thank you, Mr. President. Moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you. I too would like to stand in honor of Ms. Pellegrin and all she's done through the years as a member who sat on the Education Committee in the House and here in the Senate. I too understand the words and the meaning of super drafter and taking our ideas and turning them into law, because I've seen it firsthand. And she has shoes that I believe will never be fully filled in this body. So, Julie, you will be missed very much. Thank you.
Senator Fields.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm asking for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you. I too want to add to some of the comments that have made in honor and tribute of our dear Julie Pellegrin. She was my mentor when I first came into serving in this body. That was in 2011, and I was assigned a mentor in the office, and she was my mentor. And it didn't just stop at that 1 year. I continue to use her as a source of information, as a source of guidance, as a source of making sure that I would get this right for the people of Colorado. And she was very diligent, and she was very kind, and she was very patient with me. And for that, I am so very grateful. So when I said I was the last to know, because I had no idea, first of all, you were around for 30 years. That is a significant body of work that you have contributed to the state of Colorado, 30 years. When I think about today's generation, they may stay for a job for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, but to have someone stay and do this work for 30 years is significant. And it really, truly demonstrates your love for law and your love for this institution, not only in the House, but in the Senate, as well as it relates to working with the governor's office, your other teammates. There's just so much that goes, there's so much that's involved in the work that you do. I want you to know that it has never gone unnoticed by me or anyone else. We all know a gem when we see one, and we have one in you, and we know that all the work that we do down here as lawmakers and folks in your capacity, that we do it with the support of somebody at home, and that's your soulmate. So I want to thank you for allowing her to do this work, or in partnership with the work that she has done, because we put in a lot of long hours down here. And I know some people like me communicate in sound bites, but she's able to take that sound bite and put it into words that will craft, that has crafted legislation for far too many of us. So I wish you all the best as you move on. I am going to miss you, but I do need another mentor. So help me with that one. Thank you so very much. All the best to you.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I ask for a moment of personal privilege?
Granted.
So I also want to add my voice to the congratulations today, and there's not much more to add because I think my colleagues have captured it very, very well, but I do want to say thank you for making me look good because it really was your ideas, it was your artfulness, it was your ability to write really good bills and draft really good bills, and it's been a pleasure to work with you. I have really enjoyed getting to know you, and just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the hard work and effort that you have put in over the years. We truly, truly are going to miss you, Julie.
Senator Rankin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I really can't let this go without saying that I will never in my life forget in 2019 the READ Act bill. And sometimes we forget that the way these bills get crafted have so much impact on so many people. You know, we have roughly 1 million students, vast system of 178 school districts, and every word in a bill that impacts education is closely scrutinized and followed. Because of that bill in 19, which was cleverly crafted, 23,000 teachers that teach K-3 kids are being trained to teach reading in the new science of reading. It's making a significant difference for tens of thousands of kids. So, Julie, for your impact on our children, on our system, you know, not just helping us write bills, but what it means to the state and our education system. Thank you.
Minority Leader Holbert. Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Julie, I am without words when I think of you not being here. I don't know who is going to train new legislators when they won't know that they're being trained in such a wonderful, tactful, and caring way. I won't belabor the point, not typical of me. I'm just going to say it won't be the same.
Minority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. When I was elected to the House in 2010, I had opportunity to visit with a legislator from a different state who had gained recognition for a particular bill that was passed in that state that found millions and millions of dollars of fraud in a particular government program. I took very careful notes, and as a representative-elect, made one of my first trips to the Office of Legislative Legal Services to share my grand idea. Julie happened to be the drafter to whom I was sent, and she welcomed me, Representative-elect. She sat me down in her office and listened patiently as I went through this elaborate idea, and then calmly, with a smile on her face, respectfully asked Representative-elect Holbert, are you aware that we already do that here in Colorado? No, I wasn't. My grand idea went poof because someone had already done that. My first year in the Senate, Senator Andy Kerr and I sponsored a bill at the very end of the session to reduce the frequency of assessments in K through 12, House Bill 1323. I had already passed a bill about guaranteeing, enshrining the parents' right to opt out of such assessments, and it passed here with Majority Leader Scheffel and Minority Leader Morgan Carroll, both as prime sponsors, and I think 32 yes votes. It went to the House and was killed in House Education Committee, and then Governor Hickenlooper brought in former Governor Owens and former Governor Romer to have a press conference to rail against my bill. Governor Hickenlooper invited me down to his office after my bill died in the House, and we discussed his parameters on assessments, what he would be willing to support, what he could not support. I thank Governor Hickenlooper for that meeting, and not because of my brilliance, but a bill at the very end of the session, sponsored, I believe, by Representative Millie Hamner and Jim Wilson in the House, and Senator Kerr and I here in the Senate, passed its very last vote on the very last day, and President Cadman and Minority Leader Carroll and Majority Leader Sheffel came here to this mic and praised the effort. I was fined for being out of the chamber because of running back and forth between the House and the Senate trying to negotiate this elaborate bill. Senator Kerr covered for us in Senate Education Committee because I literally fell asleep at the table. It was heralded as a miracle, an incredible outcome. No one thought it could be done. We did that because thousands of parents in Douglas County and in Boulder Valley were emailing us saying, do something. And I thought my prior bill was the answer, but it didn't make it. But for all the leadership in the House and the Senate who came and praised that effort, to Senator Kerr, the former chair of Senate Education and member of House and Senate Education, Andy, if you're listening, thank you. But Senator Kerr and I both know that none of that would have happened. Representative Hamner and Representative Wilson know that none of that would have happened had it not been for the drafter, who was here all hours of day and night to make that happen, and that was Julie Pellegrin. I've received praise on some of the bills that I've sponsored, some of the ideas that I've come up with, bills that have gone to the governor to be signed, and so many of them would not have made it, would not have been effective had it not been for Julie Pellegrin. I'm sad that we're leaving at the same time. Reporters asked me a year ago, what's it like being leader and being term limited? I said it was like being handed my pink slip a year early and told, do a good job. That's only after 12 years. 30 years. Julie Pellegrin has brought a level of excellence here that I don't think can be matched. There are so many great people in OLLS. For those listening outside, these are drafters, attorneys who work in a nonpartisan role here in the Capitol, and they have to deal with people who support gun control and people who oppose it, people who support repeal of the death penalty and those of us who oppose it, people who support teachers' unions and those who don't. And Julie Pellegrin is a stellar example of how those experts, those subject matter experts, attorneys who could go outside this building and make vastly more money and have a whole lot more free time and less stress in their lives, but attorneys who care so much about the legislative branch and what we do here and about all sides of the issue, about providing excellent service, support, advice to all of us, the people who are selected by the voters to come here and represent them. Julie, I wish that 6 million people outside of this Capitol could have a looking glass, a crystal ball, to see all of the work that you have done, the volume and the quality, and the support that you've been to all of us. That's not possible, but I know the effect that you've had on me and my work here over the past 12 years. God bless you, and I hope that your future beyond the Capitol is full of joy and rest and less stress than it has been over the past 30 years. Thank you for what you've done for me, for the members of the General Assembly, and for the people of Colorado, especially in the arena of K through 12 public education. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, at one point in my legislative career, I actually did serve on the Education Committee in the House in 2015 and 2016, and that's when I was introduced to working very closely with Julie Pellegrin and just getting to witness her intelligence and expertise firsthand. And the senator from Arapahoe County said earlier, often we have a vague idea of what we want to do. In many cases, I submit a bill title and I have no idea what I want to do. And so that's when Julie comes to me and says, "What would you like to do with this bill?" And I say, "I don't know. What do you think I should do?" That's how much I trust her expertise and what she's been able to deliver for students, parents, teachers across this state. Her knowledge, expertise is unmatched, especially in the field of policy and in education. And Julie, it's been a true pleasure to work with you. And I wish you the best in your next endeavor, your next adventure. And I know whoever gets to work with you will be also very fortunate.
Further announcements. Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one more time. Julie, thank you.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. President. A quick announcement for my colleagues on Senate Appropriations. We continue our fast pace of work here at the end of the session. We plan to gavel in tomorrow at 8:30. Tomorrow at 8:30 for the bills listed in your calendar. And then on Friday, we'll do a second tranche of bills starting at 8:15. So members of Appropriations, please plan 8:30 gavel tomorrow, 8:15 on Friday. Thank you.
Senator Janal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tomorrow, upon adjournment, the Local Government Committee will hear their last bill, and that's House Bill 1304, and it will be in the Old State Library upon adjournment.
Senator Story.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have an announcement also. The Capital Development Committee will not meet tomorrow morning, Thursday, April 28th. The committee will, however, meet next Thursday, May 5th.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate recess until noon today. Colleagues, you do not need to return. We're just reading bills across the desk.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will recess until noon today.